Hello everyone, the Humble Math Tutor here with a video called Cosine of the Inverse Tangent. But really I want to talk about any trig ratio of the inverse any trig ratio in general. We'll start with this example though. Please evaluate this expression. Well, if we delve deep into the brackets, we find inverse tan of 12 over 5 in here, and that represents an angle whose tangent value is 12 over 5. So I'm just going to temporarily call that theta, and then say we'll have our answer if we can evaluate cos theta. Well, we should illustrate this with a right-angled triangle drawn off in the margin. So if I draw my right-angled triangle, it doesn't have to be to scale, that's not important. Your accuracy as an artist doesn't affect the accuracy of the mathematics. So there's an angle here, theta, and the opposite side would be 12 and the adjacent side would be 5, and there we have it. That is a triangle drawn here with opposite side 12, adjacent side 5, and theta is tucked in this corner. So we would say that the tangent of theta is 12 over 5, and that's what's represented here. Okay, in order to find cos of theta, wouldn't that be adjacent divided by hypotenuse in the very same triangle? Because that's theta. I need to find the hypotenuse. I'll call it r. And I'll use Pythagoras to find r, and then I'll be good to go with this. R squared is 12 squared plus 5 squared. R squared works out to 169. R would be the square root of that. R would be 13. And now I'm ready to go. The cosine of theta is adjacent, which is 5, divided by hypotenuse, which is 13. All of these questions work this way. The very same streamlined process works every time for these questions. Let's try a different one. Let's try evaluating this expression. Evaluate the sine of inverse secant of 3. Using exactly the same process, we would say this represents an angle. Call it theta temporarily. It's an angle whose secant value is 3. Now secant and cosine are reciprocals, so you could equivalently say this is an angle whose cosine value is 1/3. Either way you slice it, you have to draw a triangle now. In the margin, a right-angled triangle, and document what you see in the inner brackets here. So I need to draw a triangle with an angle theta whose secant value is 3 or whose cosine value is 1/3. Well, secant is hypotenuse over adjacent, so that would be 3 over 1. If you viewed it as cosine, you would say cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 1/3. Either way, it'll lead to the right answer. It doesn't matter. Now, the next line would be sine theta. And theta is documented here. In order to get the sine of theta, I need the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. So I need to find the length of that side. I'll call it y temporarily, and I'll use Pythagoras on it to find y. So I've got y squared plus 1 squared equals 3 squared. And I solve it through and I get y squared plus 1 equals 9. So y squared is 8 and y equals root 8. Whether you are required to simplify that further all the way down to 2 root 2 is between you and your teacher. Either way it's fine. Now you go back up to here where we were working on this. We go up to here and we say sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse, and the opposite side is y, and the hypotenuse is 3. So I just take our newly found value for y, 2 root 2 divided by 3, and that's the value of the expression. They all work like that. You just use this very same method and you should be good to go. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have suggestions for topics for future videos, please leave them in the comments below.